Again. Okay, so it's Friday, March 15th, 2019. My name is Nick Larson and welcome to the show. Today we have a couple of options. It's Friday. I'd really like to just chill and just have a good time. We were working this week on getting a Slack bot up and running, and the point that we got stuck on was the point that we got stuck on yesterday was getting the image manipulation to happen in memory in Node, and then send it back to what do you call it? And then send it back to Slack. It's that point where we're doing it in memory that seems to be the problem. If we actually write it to the disk and then we send it through a file, then it works just fine. The only problem is, we need to be able to do this manipulation in memory at some point. I think we can skirt around that and move on to the other problem that we need to address, which is actually doing the image manipulation, doing the overlay and trying to get all of that sorted out. And the way that we go about that is by just deciding, okay, we're going to write this thing to disk and then we'll send it on to Slack. And then we'll just put a big to-do in there to come back and get rid of the whole part where we have to go to disk. So that's that. Other options are, and I guess we could do this like part 6. Part 6, I think. Part 5. Whatever, something like that. Okay. Alternatively, we could just do something else. We could go back to the search stuff that we were doing, or we could do something like, making a thing that plays a game or something like that because it's Friday. I do think I want to start by looking at the Slack bot, though, because I'd really like to just wrap up the development work on it and sort of move on to something else. So I think that's the first thing we're going to do. And then if I get bored and or frustrated, we'll move on to something else. Okay. Slack bot. I have to open up a lot of stuff here. Please give me just a moment. Azure Portal. Azure Portal. Oh, notifications, recommendations. I'm good on that. Okay, you have $38 in credit remaining. Turns out you can blow through some credit pretty fast. Seeing as how all we're doing is development work. And we've been through, what, $12.50 so far? That's crazy. That's just what things cost these days, I guess. Alright, we have started the application. Let's open up pick morale.dev.slack. Oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. There we go. Sure. Pull this over here. Shrink it. Okay. I'm good on taking surveys. Oh look, it's a new release. Preview and apply color themes. Keyboard shortcuts editor. Problems panel hover. Preferred code actions. No. Debug console customization. Modify the font family. Line height. Sure. Whatever. IntelliSense. Bundling. Yeah, I don't think there's anything for me in here per se. Okay. Let's go now and take a look at what happens. Alright, so this was the issue that we ran into last time, which is if we try to post back the image, but we just specify it as the content here, it just sends back a bunch of text and it doesn't really save it as a file per se, which is really kind of weird. Like really weird why it does that. I just don't know. It's crazy. However, if we write it to the disk, and then when it's done writing to the disk, then we do this and we load it from the disk, then it seems to work. So let's just do that. All right, so what we want to do is take the image, write it to the disk, and then send it back. And that's going to be something along these lines. All right, write file promise dot then. This needs to take in, yeah, value. What is going to be returned from this? Nothing, really. Error? Error? Something like that. Don't need these. So we're going to say if error console.log error return, because we don't want to do anything. Otherwise, we do want to do this. In here. And the way that this is going to work is we're just going to pass this through right here in the file. And instead of passing overlay, we're going to pass in imageinfo.name. Okay, so hopefully what this does is save the thing to disk right here, delete, and then when it gets done, oh, and to test this, we're going to use this thing right here. All right, and this should right here reply to this message, and that should in turn try to send an image back to here. So that's all what we're going to try. Is there a way to shrink this left-hand side? No. That'd be way too easy. So let's just give it a shot and see what happens. npm start. And I didn't get any error message back. So this saved. Create read stream. I didn't get any errors. I got an OK. Oh, and there we go. Look, there we go. The message finally posted. Okay, so it does actually send the image back, which is exactly what we want. So now what we can do is we can focus on doing the image manipulation, which is what we really want to do. All right, so we want request. We want request returns a promise. Need to look this up. npm request promise request promise. I want to call then. Oh, it's on. That's right. That's right. What does pipe do? Request can also pipe to itself. When doing so, content type and this are preserved in the put headers. Put. Request emits a response event when the response is received. The response argument will be an instance of incoming message. Oh, I see. request promise. Require request promise. Okay. So maybe we want to do this. Request promise. Process HTML like you would with jQuery. Request promise. Yeah, sure. Let's try request promise. Whatever. npm install request promise. Okay. And then we're going to have request be request promise. And then where we have request, which I believe is only this one place. Oh, that's not good. Handle needs more. Not request. Let's say target. Okay. Target. There we go. All right. So request options, and then we have then. And this now takes in a response. And how do I get the body? Maybe that's just what comes back is the body and not the whole response object. But there were some up here where they were like checking, no? Payload parsed body. JSON automatically stringifies the body to JSON. Yeah. Well, let's just see what comes back. That's my short answer. I think this encoding. So let's just call this image data, and then let's do an old console.log of image data.constructor.name. And then let's not worry about any of this for now. I'm unsure how many of these. One more of those? Looks like one more of those. Okay, so really what I want to do here is just see what comes back, and hopefully this is just a buffer. And then we're right back in the point of doing all of this. And what this is going to end up doing is letting us chain all of these different things together, hopefully to be able to manipulate the object, then eventually send it on. That's the plan. Yeah. That's the plan. Let's give it a go. npm start. Fire off this buffer, and we're good. All right, so we have it. Now that we have a buffer, what do we want to do with said buffer? now that we have a buffer, what do we want to do with it? That's a great question. We want to write it to disk, which is this. Okay. Return that. And then we want to .then no, we don't want to write it to disk. We want to manipulate the image. Then. All right, so I think for, okay, so manipulate the image. Great, okay, I've got an idea here. We want to basically return image data. And then we want to say then is transformed image. How about, nah, just image. And then we want to save it. And then we want to upload it. Okay. Save to disk. Send to Slack. If error. And then we have image info, because image info is all the way up here at the top. So we manipulate the image, we save it to disk, and then we send it back to the server. This is the path. This is the chain, really, that I would like to do. This can be removed once we are no longer saving to disk. Actually, I don't even need this, because this promise is not going to return anything. I don't think. Write file promise. It rejects it or it resolves it. It rejects it with an error. That's right, it rejects it with an error. And I think we can even do this better by saying return here. Closing this, and then reducing the indentation here. Okay, so we return the request. If we get back an image data, great. And then at the very end of all of this, we can have a .catch. Is that how that works? .catch. And this is error console.log error. But we don't actually care that it doesn't, you know, eventually send something back. We just want to know what the error is. Okay, this feels good so far. Okay. Now we don't need this. And we don't need that. Okay, great. Let's see if that works. So this runs the request. Then it does the manipulation, which right now is nothing. Then it saves it to the disk. When it's done saving it to the disk, it sends the thing that's on the disk back to Slack. If this works, then the pipeline is good, and then we can just work on this part. And then we can come back and we can figure out how to get rid of this part. That is the plan. That's the plan. Return. I would really... Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. Kind of want to just put image... yeah, we'll worry about it when it gets there. Okay. C, kill it. Start it. Ideally, this runs and it fires this off and sends a message back here. Oh, image info is not defined. Ah, that's because image info is all the way up here. Only moderately frustrating. Only moderately frustrating. How can I return that back with the response? This gives me just the data. What if I want to get some values from the response? That's my real question. This ought to be a very small library. We could probably... Yeah, I was going to say, this is going to be very small. Request. Stealthy require. Return require request. Okay. Configure. Request. Where does request come from? I don't see anything setting request. Am I mistaken here? Oh, request equals stealthy require. Request. Okay, so configure. Request promise core. I don't see a request promise core. So that's going to be in something else. Request promise core. What is that, local to your machine? I must be missing it. Request promise core. Okay. Plumbing. Okay. Beyond my understanding. So if I want to get the headers from the response, how do I do that? This is request. This is request promise. Continuation local storage is no longer supported. However, you can get back the support by request promise any. When you migrated your transform function to v3, if you had whatever this craziness is, you may now set the option transform to resolve with full response. Okay. Transform. Post like HTML forms do. Okay, headers. Great, I understand all of that. File. If you want to upload a file, then use options, form data. Okay. Include a cookie. rp.jar. Options. Get the full response instead of the body. Oh, there you go. Resolve with full response. There you go. That was easy enough. You just have to look all the way to the end. So if I do that, can I get the name out of it? How about we just set this image info to be something up here? Let image info equal null. Image info. Let's try it like that. I really don't like this pattern. To do. Make the promise return any data we care about. Let's try that again. Body is not defined. Yeah, okay, well that makes sense actually. Because it's not there. It's image. And we're going to call it image data to be consistent. How about image buffer? Ooh, I like that. Image buffer. Okay, image buffer. All right. Let's try that one more time. And that time we did not get any errors. So we should see, there it goes. Okay, great. Okay, we've downloaded the image. We have run it through our pipeline. We have uploaded the image. Our pipeline currently involves saving it to disk. Gonna worry about that later. Now what we want to do is figure out how to manipulate this image to attach on top of it the overlay that is passed in here. So let's figure out how to do that. Node image processing. How about this thing? Sharp. Install sharp. Require sharp. To buffer. Oh look, overlay with. We already have a buffer. So we can tell it to resize it to the size of the buffer. Oh, I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Readable stream. Okay, let's see what we can do. We're gonna say npm install sharp. npm install sharp. It's gonna go grab all this crap. Man, look at my shirt. You can see right through my shirt today. Let's change the filter settings. Filter settings on properties. That's not what I wanted, is it? I wanted filters. Filters. Remove, order, transform, scale. Oh, filters. There it is, right there. Green screen. There we go. Now you can actually see my shirt. And you can also see the green screen back there. That is what it is. Okay. We have installed this thing. So we want to call this. We're going to get rid of stream. Const sharp equals require sharp. Control F. Stream. I'm just making sure that I wasn't using that stream thing. It was colored so that it said I wasn't using it, like this. You see how it's like a different color? However, I just didn't believe it and I wanted to make sure. So I looked anyway. And I feel good about looking anyway. Okay, so now what we want to do is with image. What uses with image? handle streamers. Okay. So the way that this works is you have needs more, commands, target, and then you just pass in the payload. And what's happening is we have this thing called handle image that takes in an overlay, and I don't want it to take in an overlay. I think I want it to take in a well, okay, we'll come back to that. For now, we have an overlay, and that's great. So what we want to do is we want to say so now what we want to do is say load the image I want to get the image size. For now, let's just pretend we know what it is. Again, these are all things that we can figure out later on. But for now, I want to just get them done. So we're going to go to public. We're going to go to images. Oh, it's not an image. Oh, it's in overlays. It's streamers. Can I get some details about this? Let's go open this up. Code. Pick MoraleBot. Public. Overlays. Properties. Details? Okay, it's 800 by 600. It's 800 by 600. Okay, so what we want to do is say buffer.from okay, so fs let's just go like this. Node const, actually I don't even need that. Yeah, no, const fs equals require fs. Okay, so now we can say let b equals buffer.from, and then we can say fs.create read stream of dot front slash public overlays streamers.png yar. The first one must be of type string. Okay, let's try that then. We can just load it directly. That'd be great. B has already been declared. C. Ooh, C. Oh, look at that. C dot length 31. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say that sounds wrong. Okay. Oh, it's creating it out of the string. it's creating it out of the string. Sharp. Okay. API. Constructor string. I don't know. Let's just try that. Sharp. Reference error. Sharp is not const. Sharp equals require sharp. A. Oh, that's cool. Does it give me the size? There's a lot of stuff here, isn't there? Holy cow. That's a lot of pixels. I'm not seeing a size here. I really feel like there is going to be one. I just haven't found it. How do I get the size out? I don't want to resize this. I want to resize something else to this size. Oh, wait, width, height. I think let's just try something really simple. And instead of doing this, we already have an image buffer, so what we want to do is say, I just want to copy the overlay example, really. I wonder if I can just sharp. Compositing images. Overlay with. Oh, look, overlay with. Okay, so yeah, let's just try sharp of this image buffer dot rotate, and I believe that is just going to look at the EXIF data and rotate it so that it's in its normal, you know, it's the rotation it's supposed to be. And then for the time being, I'm just going to say resize to, let's figure out how to do resize. Constructor, parameters, input, output, image operations, resize, rotate. Okay, let's just rotate. Rotate the image either by explicit angle or auto orient based on the XF orientation tag. Okay, I like that. Okay. Then we want to resize. Manipulation, channel manipulation, utilities. Not finding resize. 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 Examples. Resize. Okay. Resize. Width 800, 600. Sure. Dot overlay. Overlay width. Overlay. Dot to buffer. To file. Dot PNG. Dot okay. Readable stream dot pipe to here. Dot PNG. Dot to buffer. To buffer. Okay. So my understanding of what this is going to do is, let's just transform the image. You take in an image buffer, you rotate it, you resize it, you overlay it with the overlay, which we have specified the width and height currently. Then you PNG it, and you create a buffer, you save it to disk, you send it back. I don't know if this is going to work. Exit process dot exit. Okay, npm start. It did everything. It actually did. Oh man. 2 weeks of work to get to this point. Let's do something fast. Let's resize it to let's resize the image. When we resize it, we want to make it so that it okay, let's look at the options for resizing images. Resizing images. contain, embed within both provided dimensions. I think that's it. Contain. I think that's it. Contain. Inside. I think inside. When using a fit of cover or contain, the default position is center. Preserving the aspect ratio, resize the image to be as large as possible while ensuring its dimensions are less than or equal to both of those specified. Alright, so how do we use contain? Fit. Contain. That's what we want. We want fit contain. Fit contain. Let's try that. Am I not down here? Let's see if that worked. Oh, there we go. That's exactly what we want. That is exactly what we want. Although I think ideally maybe what we would even want is no, that's what we want. The overlay determines the size. The image gets cropped to be a specific size. The image gets cropped to be a specific size. This is great. This is great. Okay, this does the work that we want it to do. I'm gonna save all this and commit it. Probably want to change that background to be transparent. Can I do that? Background. Is there like a... What can I do to the background? Options. Let's do background. Background. Background color when using a fit of contain. Black without transparency. Options kernel. The kernel to use for image reduction. Okay, so options.background. Extends, pads the edges of the image with the provided background color. This operation will always occur after resizing and extraction, if any. So if we just do an alpha 0, we get whatever's behind it. I don't really want that. I think I just want to put white back there. Or maybe even have that be configurable, but right now I think white is fine. Let's just do background. Background. And how are you doing this? White. And maybe let's just do 128. All right. That looks like a win to me. Okay. Contain. Okay. Let's get this committed. And let's push it up, because this actually does like a lot of what we want it to do. Okay. Let's call this primary functionality implemented. Okay. Downloads the image, transforms the image, uploads the image. Currently it is saving to disk intermittently, but we're working on that. Okay, great. Okay, this was a big win for me as far as like reaching this point of feeling like maybe there's a chance we can actually turn this into what I was hoping to turn it into. There's some big to-dos left, like for instance, how do you add in the stuff that you want to add in? Yeah, that's my short answer. All right, once this builds, we should be able to go in here and just like test it out. I don't like this step at all. This is creating a buffer. We're right back to this problem. I wonder what happens if... I really like how easy this was. This was much easier than I thought it was going to be. I don't like this. I would like instead to have it be the size of the overlay. So I'm wondering if we can get the overlay. Or when we create this handle image, this overlay could be, it could basically just be this transform. And what we could do is say like return transform. Actually kind of like that. It gets the logic out of here. This never has to change. And then the only thing that really has to change is... Okay, great, that finally finished. And then the only thing that has to change is the thing that gets called handle image with image. So with image would then be responsible for building the transform. Let's do this. Build transform. Yeah, actually let's just go ahead and do this. I like this a lot better. Transform image. No, don't do that. Transform image buffer. Just like that. And instead of taking an overlay, this takes a transform. And then we build the transform in here. Const transform equals this, and this is actually image path. Oh no, it's image path, transform image path of image path. Okay, so build the transform and then create this handler, and all the handler does is get the image, transform the image, upload the image. And this step in the middle of actually writing a disk is kind of a pisser, but it just is what you know, it just kind of is what it is. Just kind of is what it is. Okay, let's see if this works. Error already. Image buffer is not defined. Yeah, that makes sense, you know. It really does. I think it's like that. Oh, it's this. So it's sharp image buffer dot pipe transform. Okay, try that one more time. Dest.on is not a function. Sharp dot readable. I don't know, is that how that works? Maybe? Image buffer dot readable. Okay, I think we were in this yesterday. Node buffer to readable stream. Maybe we just transform like that. I don't know what's going on. Maybe npm start. Didn't fail yet. Transform is not a function. Maybe. Feel okay about that. PNG, so let's get rid of the buffer part. Maybe it's that toBuffer thing that caused the issue. What does it say? Transform is not a function. Okay, so how do I get... let's try this one again. Streamifier. Why is this complaining? Couldn't find a declaration for module Streamifier. Edit. That needs to not be like that. 2, 3. Streamifier. 2, 3. Yeah, there we go. That's better, huh? Save edits. Styling. There we go. Streamifier.create read stream. How about to buffer? Okay. Readable stream from an image buffer dot pipe to transform dot to buffer. I think it's like all of these make sense to me. I just dealing with failures one by one. That seemed to have worked. Yay! Okay, and I like the gray background better too. Okay, there we go. We have transformed the image because the transformer was passed in. That's great. Okay. So that means the thing that builds the transform is up here. And now what we can do is we can like go load the overlay. We can get some information about it to actually do the resize. This stuff can be customizable as part of the overlay, which, you know, would be an overlay object. Let's say, let's call this overlay info. Overlay info. And then we have this overlay info is overlay info dot width. Overlay info dot height. Overlay info dot image path. And overlay info dot background dot fill color. Yeah. Okay, let's add these things. So now here, we don't want this. What we're gonna want is create like a dictionary. Yeah, that's basically it. Const. No, let's call this overlays. Overlays store. overlays data equals, and then this is streamers, and this is our info, which is okay, we need to copy the 4 things that we called them. Width, height, fill color, image path. Image path. Width 800. Height 600. Image path, this right here. Okay. And then instead of this handle streamers, what we want to do is say for we want to say object.keys of overlays data dot each for each callback function that takes a value, which is object.keys.forEach. Object.keys.forEach. Yep, that's what I want. Object.keys.forEach. Function key. Sure. Whatever. We don't want to call this key. We want to call this overlay. We'll call this name. And then we want to do this. Commands name equals with image should not have gotten rid of that. That's okay. Let's save this. Let's take a look at the diff. With image, this is what we want. Where were we working? With image, handle image. All right, and we want const overlay info equals overlays data name overlay info. Okay. What this gives us is a handler for each one of the things that we specify in here. So now if you want to add new ones, you just sort of add them in here. You just sort of add them in here. And we can update this as we go. We can update this as we go. Okay, let's give it a shot. I don't really have anything else to say. Let's just give it a shot. And let's put the alpha on that one to 0. Hopefully this all still works. And we'll know that it worked because it'll have a transparent background. Oh, that's crazy. That is crazy. Did I get the width and the height backwards? Oh, I didn't spell it right. Height. Okay. And there we go. Okay. Okay. Really, really, really base functionality here, working all the way through. The biggest thing I dislike is writing this to disk. The biggest thing I dislike is writing this to disk. So now what I want to do is I want to change the way that this works so that it doesn't have to send it to disk. That is the biggest thing. All right. Slack API. Wait, no. JavaScript Slack API upload file from buffer. Upload. Node Slack SDK. Text buffer doesn't work too. Uploads image as plain text. Works well with streams. Okay. Image buffer. All right, this one works. File. It's going to be an object. And it's going to take a value. It's going to take a value. It's going to take image buffer here. So we're basically just going to comment this out. Slack API. options. I think I tried this already. That's the thing. Image.png. Content type. Image PNG. Known length. Image buffer dot length. I'm pretty sure I tried this already. Maybe something's different. Not 100% sure. Not 100% sure. Yeah, that's right. Busted. We want something like return. Slack. No. Generate text image. Okay, cool. Install libraries. What are you using? Botkit? Botkit.slackbot. Controller.spawn. No, this has to be outdated. Yeah, I don't know. Build your own Slackbot integration with Node.js. This isn't going to have anything about uploading images. Set up your project. Import dependencies. All of these are outdated. Error. Source.on is not a function. Request promise. Form data. Create read stream dot pipe what? based on request readme. Okay. I don't know. File. Okay, so in npm slack, let's kind of unwind this a bit. That was a good one. Resizing. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. npm slack. And to do this one, files.upload. File. Are there details? File object definition. I must have missed something. File type. It looks like a response. A file object contains information about a shared file with a workspace. That's not really what I want. File. Contents, file contents via multi-part form data. Okay. JavaScript. Create multi-part form data. JavaScript, create multi-part form data from buffer. Go node, sending a buffer. Form data. Value options. Starting to think that this is right. Form data. How about if we nested this one deeper? As insane as that sounds. So this takes the name of a thing, I could see it working. Could see it doing the exact same error. On.source is not a function. Files.upload. Let's go back. Let's go to the actual, yeah, go to the repo. Go to the issues. Go to upload. File.upload. Is it files? Is it files? files.upload. Search. Form data. FD. Second, I try using token title, file name, file. It successfully uploaded the image. To my channel, so I suspect this may be a bug. File name FD. What is FD? Where a file is obtained from, but the response is no file data. fs.create read stream. I think I want to go ahead and create something else. What if I just get rid of these? Image buffer. What if I just get rid of these? If anybody who's watching has any ideas on what to try, I would really appreciate any ideas. Really just feel kind of stuck, to be honest with you. Source.on is not a function. Okay. Slack.files.upload. File content. Your first concern about README documentation only specifying token is the result of our docs being scraped from the official docs. Token is the only required parameter for this API, so the docs are rendering correctly, if confusingly. As to function, your workaround is the best thing to do at the moment. Form data. FD. File type. Maybe it's, no, it's PNG because that file type comes from Slack. Title. File name. Uh, multi-part form data. Okay, so let's take a look at what this thing is using under the hood, and then let's go see if we can figure out how to do that. But I can't really. Exec. Exec. Promisify of exec pfy URL form object.keys form HTTP post API is uploading. Files.upload. That's a bad regex. Is uploading true. Then these headers. So the data is coming through as a form. So this is being sent to http.post. And HTTP is tinyjson HTTP. Okay. Exports post. To write. Write. Okay. What kind of issues do y'all have? 6 closed. Okay. So under the hood, this is using HTTP. Is multipart. Multipart form data. Method. Method equals multipart form data post. Options. Dot headers. Dot content type. Form dot submit. So HTTP okay. JSON.stringify. If not is uploading. If we are uploading, if we are uploading, then we just send it straight through to HTTP. Okay. Node HTTP post buffer. Getting binary content in node with http.request. Buffer. Response.onData. I don't want to request it, I want to post it. I don't know. Okay. I mean, I don't know. And right now, I'm just sort of... out of time. Because it's getting close to 2. And I got to call it for today. So for the time being, we're just going to bring this back so that it's in a working state. And then I think we would probably... I think what we would do at this point is delete the file after it was uploaded, and we would generate random names for each of them. So the way that we're going to do that is we're just going to go to JavaScript random random string. Generate a random string. Right. So we're just going to go like this. Text math.floor, math.random. Yeah, we're just going to go like this. And I've already upvoted this before. So make ID of length. Give me copy link address. And then we're just going to have this make a random file name. Var file name equals image info dot name. No, we're going to do it this way. Const let okay, and then we're just going to say something like make ID of, I don't know, 10 plus info.name. It's going to be file name. Oh man, and now we're lost. Haha. File name. This is going to be file name. It's going to be let file name equal null. And then down here, after this, we're going to say dot then nothing really. Oops. And then we're going to say fs.delete. fs.delete. Node.js remove file. fs.unlink. Write file promise. fs.unlink. Yeah, something like this. And then this is going to delete here. It's gonna. Okay. And then this is going to be file name. File name. We should call that temp file name. Temp file name. And I probably don't even need this. And to be honest with you, I want that error, so we're going to do exactly this, but for delete file. Unlink. Unlink. Error, if error. Okay, yep. So delete file promise, because it's just easier. Return temp file name. Okay, one more time. Now what I want to do is delete this. Delete this. And then it should create the file, it should delete the file, we should be good to go. Way too easy. Profile pick raw. Oh yeah. So the file name when we load it needs to not be this, it needs to be temp file name. There we go. C, start. Did we get a new one? Yeah, we got a new one. It created the file, it deleted the file. No, it did not delete the file. Why did it not delete the file? On link. Asynchronously removes a file or symbolic link. Why did that not? Why did that not remove that file? And why did it not throw an error? Delete file promise is saying unlink file. If error, reject, otherwise resolve. Console.log attempting to delete file. Okay, this is just so I can see if we're actually trying this or not. And I did not see it actually call that. Attempting to delete file. Oh, so it did try to delete the file. Okay, so it did try to. Okay, so it popped in there and then it tried to delete it. Let's see if we do it again now that I deleted that other file. Oh. Right after end. C. Okay, what's going on here? And let's put in plus file. Interesting. Okay, created the file, deleted the file. Good. What happens if I do it again? What? Right after end. I wonder if I just never tried this twice, and this isn't the problem. Maybe I just didn't try it twice, and that's not the problem. I'm just going to close all of this for now, because I need to end this stream in like 2 seconds. The first one works. It creates the file. Wow. The second time fails. Okay, so sharp. Unhandled error event. Sharp.writable.write. Do I have to create a new pipeline each time? Do I have to create a new transform each time? Great. Okay, well, to do. It fails when you try to reply to the same image twice in a row. All right, that's going to be it for today. I am out of time. Feel like there was some progress made. I feel like there was some progress made, so overall I feel pretty good. In fact, I'm just going to revert a lot of this. We're not going to do this at all. Not temp file name, we want imageinfo.name. Basically everywhere. Control F, file name. File name, file name, file name, file name. Okay, that's it for file name. I'm wondering if it's this. And you... I don't know. Delete. I think we want to bring this back. No, can't do that. Because I use this temp file name. Just going to get rid of all this. No making fancy names. Create transform, write file to there. Create the write file. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's it. I got to get going. I have to do an interview in about 20 minutes. But thank you for joining today. And I feel like there was some progress made here. We organized things a little bit better so that we can add new ones in. We can sort of abstract that away and say like, oh, here's how you go and get the information that you need in order to build these things. And then maybe, you know, there's just a little bit with this pipeline really needs to get cleaned up for me to be comfortable with it. And then after that, I think we're just going to get this thing deployed. So thanks for joining today, and I will see you all next week starting on Wednesday. Next week's going to be a weird week because we're going on vacation the week after that. So I'm probably going to do some longer streams actually. And then I think I'm probably going to take Friday off because my mom will be in town. So maybe we'll do Wednesday and Friday, and we'll do long streams next week. So plan on that, and then I think next Friday I'm probably just going to end up taking off. But anyway, thanks again, and I will see you all very, very soon. And I'll probably see you in other people's rooms if you're not going to be around here for very much longer. So see you later.